Hello, my name is Nedu. I'm a DIY sewing enthusiast based in Lagos. So now you want to buy a sewing machine and you're thinking, should you buy brand new or should you buy pre-loved, thrifted or second-hand? It's a tough decision, but I hope you make the best one as best as I can. So if you choose to go this route of getting a thrifted sewing machine, there are a few things you have to consider so you don't get scammed or it becomes a bad investment. So the first thing I want to mention is that there's something referred to as information asymmetry when analyzing market mechanisms in economics. So in that instance, it means that one of the parties between buyer and seller appears to have much more or better information about the product. Most likely it will be the seller because they have more to gain in that instance. Yeah. So a buyer who is financially savvy or discerning is one who doesn't want to spend too much but still wants to get value for their money either way. So they want to avoid being pushed into purchasing a lemon. Now, a lemon is an instance where an item appears to be high quality at first glance, but after being taken away, it turns out to be not so good compared to a peach, which is clearly high quality all the way through. But let's focus on a lemon. So for a buyer to avoid being scammed into obtaining a lemon, there are a few things to consider. So the first thing I would say is when buying a second-hand sewing machine is first of all, do your checks on the make. In this instance, the machine on my right is a Singer 2504C. I've had it for over 3 years now and it's been fantastic. I did my research first of all. I bought it for the aesthetics. I will not lie, the aesthetics. I like the way it looks. It just looks fantastic. And two, it's a Singer. I like the brand Singer. So I did my research first of all. It's a machine that was made in Brazil in the year 1993. It's over 20 years. It's clearly a vintage machine and I love it. So the first thing I did was, of course, I did my Google search to see the background of the machine, the brand, and I was happy with that. Then secondly, I asked the seller questions. I asked questions like, has this machine been tested? Has this machine been serviced? And of course, I looked at the parts of the machine, things like the needle. Will I find the same kind of needle in my country? Because it makes no sense to purchase a machine or equipment and then you can't even find the parts for it, even if you've paid a decent amount for it. So those things out of the way, doing your own background check by yourself. It's amazing how Google is a wonderful resource for these things nowadays. In fact, the way I see it, information is out there if you choose to access it for free. It's just there really. You only be using your data to find out what you need to know. So first of all, background check on the machine. Secondly, ask the seller, has it been tested? Has it been serviced? Will the parts be found locally? Those are really important things to look out for. Another thing to consider would be also checking for reviews online. It's amazing how people are so willing to share information on their experiences with the things that they've used. I mean, from clothing to makeup to skincare and even equipment, especially equipment. People will say the experience with the brand, how it worked for them, if they had any issues or whatever. Like I said earlier on, the financially savvy buyer is one who wants to spend just somewhere between very expensive and not so expensive, but still wants to enjoy something that is high quality and that will be a good investment in the long run. Buying secondhand is not a bad thing at all, but just be careful because eventually it's budget friendly. It does the same thing as the brand new one in most cases, and it's a good place to start if you really can't afford brand new to begin with. I hope you've learned quite a bit from this. I mean, I enjoyed doing this video because it's been on my mind for a while. I think one of the most asked questions I get is, how do I buy a sewing machine? Which one do I get? And I plan to share more of these tips from time to time on my channel. So thank you for watching.